Missing little boy AJ has now been found alive and well. There are still questions about what happened to him over the last few days, but according to media reports, he is fine apart from a few minor cuts and bruises. This is a great outcome. When his mum Kelly spoke to media, there were many negative comments on social media from people who thought that she was involved in his disappearance. People have become jaded because we've seen so many times when parents speak about a missing child or a kidnapped child, it turns out that they have guilty knowledge, and they may even have killed and disposed of the children themselves. Police will often encourage parents to speak to the media in these situations. This isn't a long interview, it's a plea to the public for assistance and a few questions from the media. So we're looking at her priorities. What are her priorities? What's the first things that she wants to say? What does she want us to know? The first thing she said is anyone who has information to give it to us. She's wanting information to help in finding her son. And it's for us. No, it's not just for the police. She actually wants it herself. This is personal to her. She wants to find AJ. We need to find him. This is strong. It's not just a want, it's a need. Also, the use of his name, AJ. It's good. We want to hear this from her. I need him back. The personal pronoun I. This is strong language. It's demonstrating a strong natural connection between the subject and AJ. She's moved from we to the stronger pronoun I. So her priorities are clear and strong. Her concern is getting him back. There is nothing here to suggest any guilty knowledge from her so far. When asked how she's feeling and what's going through her head, Kelly responds again, I just want to find my son. Her feelings are irrelevant. Her only priority is finding AJ. And it's good to hear her use the personal pronoun my when referring to her son, my son. She takes ownership of him. We linguistically take ownership of what we want. And she wants him. She wants him back. When we have parents with guilty knowledge in the disappearance of a child, we often see them portray themselves as victims. They want to gain sympathy, and their concern is not for the missing child, it's for themselves. And there's none of that here. We're not seeing that from this subject. She's then asked about her theory that AJ has been taken, and to which she replies, I think he has been taken. And parents with guilty knowledge, again, are often conclusionary from the outset. This isn't not what we have here. She explains her reasons for her theory, what she thinks she knows. She says, if he was around here, I would have found him by now. I would have found him by now. I have searched the property. How many times have we searched? I cannot find him. This is all strong pronoun language. She hasn't just jumped to the conclusion that he's been taken. She didn't just know immediately. She's looked repeatedly and she's been unable to find him. This is good language. This is strong language. It's what we expect to hear from a parent of a missing child. One of the other things we look at also is the linguistic disposition towards the missing child from the parent. And this is important. The reporter asks, what is AJ like as a person? Now, a parent with guilty knowledge will often say or hint towards something slightly disparaging towards the child. AJ is on the autistic spectrum and he's non-verbal. Autistic children are not easy to look after, and it can be a difficult life for parents. From what I understand, if there is ever a parent who may have room for a slight complaint in parenting, it would be the parents of autistic children. However, in context, it's also the mother of a missing child. And a missing child should be elevated to a higher position in the language of the mother. How does the subject describe him here? Happy boy, always smiling and laughing, always happy, placid, a good boy, and he is amazing. Now, this is all positive language. The subject is demonstrating the expected and appropriate linguistic disposition towards AJ in the circumstances. This is the language of a truthful mother of a missing child. And finally, she gives a detailed description of what AJ was wearing. She appears to be doing everything she can to assist police in finding AJ. So there is no deception or guilty knowledge here, and happily AJ is now reunited with his family. What happened to him in the time that he was missing, we will likely find out in the coming days and weeks. Thank you.